Hello guys, today's our topic is production possibility curve, and first of all we have to understand the correct definition of production possibility curve. For this, look at on my screen. This is the production possibility curve definition that shows what the production possibility curve is: a graphical representation which shows various possible combination of production of two goods or either two service or one good and one service. Okay, by allocating existing resources, these are capital factor of production efficiently. Well, production possibility curve is also called production possibility frontier. We have few assumptions regarding production possibility curve, that the four key assumptions are: the resources are used to produce one or both only two goods. The quantities of the resources do not change and economy is working at full employment. The third one is the technology and production techniques do not change. Basically, these are the assumption, but practically in the real world it will change. Regarding the fourth one, the resources are used in a technical efficient way and assume that the country is using best available techniques of production, and that is the production efficiency, or you can call it productive efficiency. Productive efficiency is a situation where it is impossible to produce more of one good without sacrificing other good. Well, keep in mind few things, that the PPC is always downward sloping because of presence of the trade-off, and that is called opportunity cost between two goods because of scarcity of resources. According to the basic assumption of the PPC, as a country has used all of its available resources with productive efficiency in a given constraint of technology. So it is impossible to increase production of one good or one good without losing the other. However, scarcity does not provide any information regarding why PPC is a straight line inward bending or outward bending. It all depends upon the conditions. So look at the first, we have to look on this graph. Look at this graph. The following graph shows what on the PPC any point shows efficient allocation of resources, means there is no wastage of resources. And if you look at the diagram, you can easily see that we are producing two goods, that is the pizza and the sugar. So X, B, A, C, and Y. These points shows the efficient allocation of resources, mean there is no wastage of given resources. But what about the point D and E? Point D and E shows that the country or firm producing less as their potential. They have potential to produce more, but they are producing less. That means they are inefficient to allocate their resources. So what about the point F? Point F shows this is the desire of the firm or the economy, because every firm or every economy want to produce more and more goods and services. But the problem is that the resources are very scarce. So F point shows unattainable point because of scarcity of resources. So you can call it, it gives the idea of scarcity. For this, we have a practical example in Pakistan, like it will happen in 1998 or 97, that a bigger firm like Pepsi company, the Pepsi company decide that they have to produce two goods. That is what the first one is Pepsi Cola, and the other one is Aquafina. So for this, look at this diagram. The PPC become concave to the origin. But what about this point? A point shows that the Pepsi company producing 10,000 unit of Pepsi Cola. At the same time, they are producing 0 unit of Aquafina. But after some while, they realize that the people do not trust on the water. They're coming in their nulls. So they need a pure water. For this, they have only two brands available. That is the local brands and the bigger brand Nestle. But the Nestle was too expensive at that time, and the people are not believe on the local brands, which will be on the 30 or 40 rupees at that time. So Pepsi Cola introduced Aquafina. But problem is that the Pepsi company has not a sufficient capital. So for this, they reduce the production of Pepsi Cola to get a 2000 unit of it. And then they introduce Aquafina at the time. And they are producing 2500 units of Aquafina. Then Pepsi might be realized that they need to produce more Aquafina than the Pepsi Cola. So Pepsi Cola half of their production, and then they introduce more of Aquafina at that time. So they will come at point C. At lies, it is a possibility that company leave the production of Pepsi Cola and they have to get the point D. At this point, they might produce 11,000 unit of Aquafina. So what about these A, B, and C point shows? The A, B, C, and D point shows that the Pepsi company utilize their resources efficiently. If they utilize their resources efficiently, they get these possible points, the A, B, C, or D. These are basically the combination. Like A point shows, they are producing 0 unit of Aquafina and 10,000 unit of Pepsi Cola. B point shows they are producing 2,500 and 2,500 unit of Aquafina, and at the same time they are producing 8,000 unit of Pepsi Cola. C point shows they are producing 7,000 unit of Aquafina, and at the same time they are producing 5,000 unit of Pepsi Cola. And D point shows they are producing 11,000 unit of Aquafina and 0 unit of Pepsi Cola. So if they are efficient, they can get these possible points. So what about this point? This point shows what? Let's suppose the point is X. It shows the Pepsi is producing 2,500 unit of Aquafina and 5,000 unit of Pepsi Cola. That means the Pepsi have an ability that with 5,000 unit of Pepsi Cola, they can produce 7,000 unit of Aquafina, but they are producing 2,500 unit of Aquafina. Or in the other hand, you can say with the 2,500 unit of Aquafina, they can produce 8,000 unit of Pepsi Cola, but they are producing less. That means they are inefficient. So you can call it X point shows inefficient allocation of resources. Okay, let's suppose Pepsi is producing outside, and that is point what? Y. So what this Y shows? That Pepsi has a desire to produce higher production, but they have the scarcity of resources. So you can call it that the Y point shows what? Unattainable point, or you can call it scarcity of resources. So if we summarize these, we can see, or you can say that on the PPC, any point shows efficient allocation of resources, while inside PPC, any point in efficient allocation of resources. So what about the outside point? You can say outside PPC, any point shows scarcity of resources. So basically, these are the summary of the whole diagram. So what about the movement along PPC? If we look at this diagram and if we move from point A to B, what will happen? At point A, we are producing 10,000 unit of Pepsi Cola, and at that same time, we are producing no unit of Aquafina. But when we move from A to B, we will sacrifice 2,000 unit of Pepsi Cola in order to gain 2,500 unit of Aquafina. So this is an idea of opportunity cost, because opportunity cost is the next best alternative for gone. So you can call it movement along PPC gives the idea of opportunity cost. So any movement along PPC, you can call it, this gives the idea of opportunity cost. So now we have taking a test. Let's suppose we move from C to B. What will be the opportunity cost if we move C to B? So look at here. What is the difference here? Hmm? Here we have a difference of 4,500 units. So we sacrifice basically 4,500 unit of Aquafina to gain 3,000 unit of Pepsi Cola. So 4,500 is an opportunity cost. So now move on to the definitions and the other things. So look at this. This shows what D and E are the inefficient combination. Not all resources fully utilized. F is an output combination that is not yet attainable. Similarly, we have an opportunity cost. Like if we move from A to B, look at on the graph, we sacrifice 40 unit of wheat in order to gain 100 unit of cotton. So the last and most important thing, when will PPC become a straight line? This is the important point. The PPC will become a straight line when there is a constant opportunity cost. So few people is not clear that what is the meaning of constant opportunity cost and why PPC become a straight line. So for this, move on again here and look at this schedule I am drawing here. Okay, let's suppose you have capital available is $30 and you are producing two goods, and that is what? X and Y. So X cost is $6 while the Y cost is $3. This is assumption. So what are the possibility of it? So look at these possibility. This is the production of good X and this is the production of good Y. So what is the possible combination that we can get? Like we spend all this $330 in producing a good X. So how many unit we can produce? You can say, sir, it's 5 unit. At the same time, how many unit we can produce for good Y? So you can say, sir, nothing is left. Okay. So it will be 0. But if we see the market is growing for Y, so we have to sacrifice 1 unit of X in order to gain how many unit of this? You can say, sir, 2 unit of Y. How? Because for 4 unit of X we spend $24. But in order to gain Y, we have Y in $3. So $6 is left. So how many unit we can produce? You can call it 2. So this is our second possible combination. And what about if we produce 3x? You can say, sir, it will be 4. If we produce 2 unit of it, you can say, sir, it will be 6. If we produce 1 unit of x, you can call it, we can produce 8 unit of this. If we produce 0 unit of x, we can produce 10 unit of y. So what about these points? These points shows what? These points shows efficient allocation of resources. And there is an equal opportunity cost here. Look at this. If we sacrifice 1 unit of X, we gain 2 unit of Y. If we sacrifice 1 unit of X, we gain 2 unit of Y. So there is a constant opportunity cost. So when we draw the diagram of it, this is good X and this is good Y. So you can call it, let's suppose 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So what about it? The first possible combination is what? At 0y, we are producing how many unit of it? It will be 5. Okay. So when x is 0, we can produce 10 unit of y. So if we draw this diagram, this has become a straight line. And when PPC become a straight line? When there is a constant opportunity cost. Hopefully you like this topic. So next topic, we will talk about shift in PPC. Thank you.